What is going on, you beautiful people? Welcome back, you little cutie patooties. We are back on with some 23 WRX stuff today. I am enjoying this nice little break from Blue, doing some basic bolt-on parts. It's honestly, it's enjoyable, it's relaxing, and it's fun because everything just goes together, especially with what we got below us, because we got 4 parts we're tossing on today, 3 of them being OEM Plus parts, 1 of them being a Cobb part. No, it is not an access port, but we are working towards that. We should start tuning with this car next week and getting some engine modifications on here. But for now, we're gonna be focusing on interior, exterior, drivetrain, and suspension a little bit. Let me show you our delicious spread of parts that we got from our guys over at Rally Sport. With our WRX here, one of the go-to mods I always do on all Subarus, doesn't matter what it is a pitch stop mount. This is a Cobb pitch stop mount. You can get Perrin, you can get Cobb, you can get OEM Group, and you can get whatever you want. But these honestly just make the feedback from the car a little bit better and a little more responsive. For a modification that costs between $80 and $100, I honestly suggest this for pretty much any Subaru out there. Right here, this is one I'm really excited for. This is the OEM STI draw stiffener. This goes underneath of the chassis and it helps with some like side-to-side torsional play in the suspension. Pretty excited for that. All these instructions are in Japanese. No idea how to install these, but we'll stumble through it and get them figured out. We also got more of the Alcantara interior pieces that I was talking about. These are going to make the interior feel just that much more classy. Honestly, Alcantara just changes how the interior of a car feels. So that little dash trim right there with the vent is where this Alcantara piece is going to go. I've torn apart this interior once before. I don't remember how to take all this out, so we'll kind of stumble through and figure out how to swap all this stuff over. But honestly, dude, the feel of just Alcantara on the inside of a car feels way better. Someone did comment in the last video that Alcantara doesn't last nearly as long. I've never had an issue with Alcantara parts. Clean them regularly with Sonyak's Alcantara cleaner and you'll be totally fine. The other really cool mod that I'm excited for are these fog lights. So these are actually OEM Subaru fog lights, which the logo's on here somewhere. Right there, OEM Subaru fog lights. And these are neat because they are both white and amber, and you can change the color of these fog lights with the turn stock. What we're gonna start with today is we'll do interior, fog lights, draw stiffener, pitch stop, go drive the WRX, see if we can feel the difference, enjoy our new fun interior and exterior parts. We're gonna kind of change up how the WRX looks a little bit with our new fancy wheels. So I do want to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Rally Sport Direct before we install these parts. If you guys are looking to save some coin, we do have a discount code Smeedia. Save yourself some money on OEM Plus parts, aftermarket parts, whatever you're feeling. I did pass along your guys' recommendations and suggestions to them for their new website. They are working on updates for it. Just bear with them. They're getting things sorted. It was a big transition from the other site to this site. And if you do have an account over there, make sure you're using your rewards points because you can get some pretty decent offers on those. First things first, let's try to do this Alcantara piece. I don't know how to get this out. I did this before, and from what I can remember, it was a real pain, but we're gonna go for it, all right? So I know that piece will be the first one that comes out. I wanna say that I just yeet it out, but at the same time, I don't know if that's, oh, no, okay, no, it just kind of yeets out. Oh, it literally just pulls out. So you just pop the side piece off, yeet this piece out, and there it is. We do gotta swap this vent over real quick, so I guess we'll go swap that over to our new one. Most of the time when you go to take out like interior panels, they don't want to come out. Oh.
So I was like, Mochi, kennel, now!
Beat that corgi's butt next time. Dope! Dude, that look good. OEM Alcantara, dude. It just looks so good. Look at that, man. Subaru gives you a whole little cubby in here to be able to hide your drugs in. Dude, that looks so freaking good. These can go back on over here on the side. Dude, I feel like I'm in a supercar with all this Alcantara in here. I'm in a supercar. Zoom. So I'm assuming it's gonna be same on this side. Pop out this little corner piece here. How freaking easy that is. Let me go swap the vent around. More places to hide your drugs. Come right back in here. Dude, all I'm saying is the OEM Alcantara stuff is honestly the best feeling interior stuff in my opinion. Some people are gonna be like, I'm not a big Alcantara fan. I totally get it. Personally, I think it just makes the interior of the car feel so much, I don't want to say classier, but it makes it feel classier, man. It just makes it feel so much more refined, I guess is the word if you want to use it. So I'm big pumped with these. I love Alcantara stuff. I wish they made an Alcantara OEM steering wheel like they did in the VA chassis, but for now, this will do. I like it. Next up on our agenda is these super fun looking fog lights. I'm kind of actually excited that they're like blacked out also, so I'm gonna set that guy down right there. We'll start by getting the bumper off. Let's just start with that. actually way easier than I thought for these fog lights. So here's what the kit gives you. They give you both the fog lights. They give you these little guys here, and these are essentially like 3M little zip tie guys. So we'll stick those to the inside of the bumper and we'll zip tie this harness. All this harness does is connect the left hand and the right hand fog light together. That's all they do. There are drivers inside of these, so when we get an OEM fog light, or one of the stock fog lights out, I guess this is a stock fog light also. When we get the base fog light out, I'll show you and compare it to this one. This one has an actual driver inside of it. The stock ones, I don't believe they do. I'm pretty sure it's just a 2-wire on-off switch for the fog lights, essentially. So these are gonna be your adapter harnesses to go from the fog light to the OEM wiring on the car. This will be the harness that connects the 2 fog lights together. We've got our 3M sticky zip tie guys. They give us all the zip ties. So I guess we'll start by getting them out. Looks pretty easy. Couple screws, couple clips, bada bing, bada boom. Stock fog lights should come right out. 1 screw, I see a clip. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get the fog light out. Yep, just as I thought. So no drivers on these ones. Stock fog light, it's literally just a normal fog light. It's an LED fog light stock, but this one you can see has the built-in driver on the side of it, that box. So the box is what I believe is gonna be able to allow this fog light to go between white and amber, where this one just does white. So it's kind of interesting. Pretty easy to get out. It's 1 clip and 2 screws, and that's it. Driver faces inwards that way. Oh, that makes sense, because now there's a little clip guy here. Oh my God, Subaru, look at you guys. So these are left hand, right hand specific. The styling choice of the new WRX, Subaru kind of missed the point or the mark on it, but I will give Subaru this. Their dedication to making some dope accessories is actually pretty neat, because these things, a lot of this stuff is actually really cool. I know a lot of you guys think aftermarket is like the only way to go, but honestly, a lot of the OEM stuff is just, it's really cool. Plug in our adapter harness here, which is gonna go on the bottom. So the LEDs should do white and amber. I just don't know how. And that's with headlights on. Right now they are white and white. All right, let me see if I can figure out how to turn them to amber. What did that do? Did that do anything? I turned them off. I turned my high beams off. Oh, now they're yellow though. Why are they yellow now? How did I do that? Now they're yellow. How did I change into yellow? Oh! You just turn the fog light off and then on and it changes the color. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Peep with the new Smeedia hoodie also, you guys. Oh yeah, wear it girl. All right, you see the fog lights down there on the very bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, check this shit out. Car's on. What color are they right now?
Your fog lights are off.
They're off?
Yeah.
Okay, what about now?
Oh yeah, they're on.
What color?
White. Yellow. What?
That looks good too. That's a good like yellow color, right?
Yeah, I really like it.
All right, so we're yellow?
We're yellow. Now we're white. Whoa. It's like magic. So does it change them automatically or do you change them?
I'm changing it. So when you turn them off and then on, they change color again.
Oh.
So fog lights, so right now they're white, fog lights off, and then when I turn it back on, they'll be yellow.
Can we see them again tonight? I want to see what they look like in the dark.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
But you have to do it quick. So if I leave them off for a minute, so right now they're white, right?
Yep.
So when I turn them off and on, they should turn yellow. But if I turn them off and I wait a minute, and I don't turn it back on, we'll say like now, they'll be white again. But if I want them yellow, you turn them off and then on real quick. And then they turn yellow.
But there's no way from inside the car to know what color they are, right?
I mean, you'll be able to see it on the road.
But that wasn't my question though. From the inside.
They default back to white.
Okay, so again.
So if you turn.
So there's nothing inside the car that shows you what color they are.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Here, come here. Will you do it for me so I can see up here?
Yeah.
I'll show you how to do it. That's cool. Come on, you guys. Some of you guys probably like Tanner, you're a child. They'll be like, I don't care. Don't ask me why, but the fog lights got me really excited. It's also nice that they're not like super chromy like the old ones are, and they blend in down there a little bit more, so that's kind of cool. I didn't even explain it. The whole reason you'd want white or yellow fog lights. So you would typically use like white fog lights more for like driving at night when it's a little bit darker out and you want to illuminate the road a little bit more. But then the yellows are for when it's actually foggy. The yellow light will disperse and break, it won't break up the fog, but it'll break through the fog more than white light would, because white light's gonna reflect back at you versus yellow actually penetrating through the fog. So you'll see people who run yellow or white, but and I'm sure there's some aftermarket companies that make switchback ones like that, but I'm sure there's like a little toggle or something. I love being able to integrate all that into OEM features, so you can just like flick a little toggle switch like that to be able to swap between them. It's less buttons, less wiring, it's OEM, it fits perfect, it looks good. I am about it. I love those. A little curled up spider right there. I want to see those at night, so once it gets dark out, we'll turn those on and see how bright they actually are. So sick. For now, let's jump over to the STI draw stiffener. We're gonna have to go under the car. No idea how to install that. It's got like 8 pages of pictures. We can figure it out. I don't know how this installs. They give us 2 nuts, which I'm assuming are for the end of the tie rods on there. Tie rods, the ball joints. We've got 2 brackets, which I know it's going to hook up to the ones that are offset. 6 bolts and a spacer. Now in here in the pictures, for the most part, when you get these Japanese instructions, you can pretty much figure it out based off of the photos alone. So let's get the WRX up in the air. I'll grab the smaller tripod and try to get it finoodled down there so that way you guys can see this. But it seems pretty straightforward. We bolt up a bracket, add the stiffener, and tighten it all down, it looks like. It doesn't look too bad. We'll figure it out. It all makes sense now. So, passenger side. This is the passenger side of the car. This bracket is going to go above it, and you're going to line up the holes. Honestly, it only goes on one way. And you're going to take 3 of the new bolts. Started. There's 1 of them. It does help to loosen all the bolts. This thing better make a freaking difference, man. I've seen this thing for so long. And then this guy over here, we're going to have to take out this 14, because that one's going to get a washer behind it, which is right here. So we got our 3 new bolts here, and these will go through like so. Or so it's supposed to. I have this bracket on wrong, which I most definitely could, which makes sense. I do have that one on backwards. Now this draw stiffener should not go in there. Yep, just like that. Okay, there we go. Look at us, man. We're figuring it out. So, apparently this is supposed to help with like tension or torsion from left and right. So I gotta tighten this nut, so I'm just gonna grab a 14 mil and tighten it. And that should be the draw stiffener, which you can't even see all the cool bits because they're all behind that. Now, I'm not denying that OEM stuff is not cheap, because it's not cheap, but it is top tier quality. And something I've learned over my years of Subaruing and loving Subarus is I have a tendency to try to track down OEM JDM parts for these cars, and Subaru tends to discontinue them after a couple years. So when I can snag them, because I know in 5-10 years, if for say I still have this car, which I know I go through cars kind of fast sometimes, but I don't have any intention of getting rid of this one for a while, mainly because I just bought it. With OEM parts, Subaru has a tendency to discontinue some of those parts, and then later on down the line, you're like, fuck man, I really wish I got that OEM part. And there's a wasp!
So little.
Hi buddy.
You're so tiny, and then I got them all.
It's a doggo break. Touching the corgi butt, touching the corgi butt. Boop, 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 boop. I'm so curious to see if this thing actually changes how the car feels. So it connects up both of the lower control arms essentially to the brace, and then the brace has the actual stiffener rod, and you can loosen and tighten it a little bit if need be. But honestly, it feels pretty tight already. So I've always been curious on these things. So we'll actually see if it makes a difference when driving. Connects up to the top side of this bracket here on the passenger side. It'll go up here. It'll run across to this bracket, which is going to connect up here. And then the washer goes between the frame and this brace here to make sure that this whole arm sits level. So that way it's not kind of like sitting a little cockeyed or anything like that. So next up, we're going to go ahead and get the pitch stop mount in. That is going to be underneath of the top mount intercooler, which isn't too bad to get off. There's a clip here, a couple bolts that we're going to have to take out, a 10 mil there. We'll take the intercooler up and out. We'll swap out our stock pitch stop for that Cobb one down there, and that honestly, dude, that alone makes a huge difference in just drivability and response to these cars. It's wild. There we go, there's our intercooler out of the way. So we got our pitch stop right here. We've got a 14 here and then a 14 that runs on the backside there. I'm not gonna touch this little fun hat guy. There's also this weird white clip thing. We're not gonna mess with any of that. We're literally just gonna hit these two 14s, get this pitch stop out and put in our new one. Don't drop the washers either. You drop them, you're probably not gonna get them back. The washer, you got nut and bolt, or nut and washer, nut and washer. Pull out that bolt, and then pitch stop comes right out. I'm gonna toss some grease on the bushings of this one, and then we'll get the Cobb one in. Stop will go in literally the same way it came out. If you put grease on it, it should go in pretty easily. Front bolt. Front bolt is in. Literally the same for all Subarus, man. Subaru never changes it. Just to show you guys the difference, the old one, just a piece of plastic. I mean, these work fine. I've seen a few of these break under higher horsepower applications, but even these aftermarket ones, dude, they feel so much better. Even on a completely stock car, they just make everything feel tighter. So I'm about it. Super happy with the Cobb one. Let's go ahead, toss our top mount back on. It's dark enough, I feel like I can show you guys this. So I've got only the headlights on right now, right? So with the fog lights on, it illuminates quite a bit more now that's yellow. Dude, that's so fucking cool. I just wanted to show you guys this. So, oh, dude, you can't, the light is like blinding a little bit, but you can see they're yellow. And then if you want to change them back to white, all you do is come in here, turn the high beam, or turn the fog lights off and then on, and watch. Yellow, off, on, white, off, on, yellow. There's a cat fight across the street. Why are cats fighting? Be friends! So if we were driving, right now we have fog lights off, fog lights on, not bad, fog lights yellow. Honestly, the yellow will be nice for like actual fog, because that way, yellow actually like cuts through fog. Unlike white light does, white light just bounces back. So it's the next day. I went and I took the WRX and I got the works put on the tires off of the stock wheels. So I've got the stock wheels in the boxes over there and the works on the car. Now let me tell you this, all right? Some of you are probably gonna judge me for the wheel choice that we went with on the WRX, but I think the vision that I have in my head, I think it'll look really cool once it's there. It's not there yet, okay? But it's a step in the right direction. It needs color matched flares now. Now that I look at it with aftermarket or with wheels on it, now it needs the color matched flares. It doesn't, I mean, it looks good. It looks really good with the wheels, don't get me wrong, but now that I see it with wheels on it, the plastic cladding sticks out so much more. And now the cladding actually bothers me. So we're gonna get some color matched flares. I'll either order a set or we'll go to the paint shop and we'll just get those painted. With that, I think I'm gonna swap over to the OEM front lip and the OEM side skirts to just kind of make the car a little more cohesive. Like, I think it looks really good, don't get me wrong. And some of you probably like, dude, you have the same exact wheel on your WRX that you have on your STI. That's the point. They're both World Rally Blue. They both got the same wheels. Once the flares are color matched and once it's got OEM lips, side skirts, and rear spats, I think it'll tie the whole car together and I think it'll be cool. I like the idea of having the WRX and the STI kind of match each other, if that makes sense. So I dig it. These are the Work-Motion D9Rs. These are 18 by 9.5 plus 38 on the stock 245/40/18 tire. The tire is a little bit small, I agree. I want to do like a 255, 265 on these just to fill out the wheel a little bit more. There is a very small stretch on there, but I also didn't want to spend $1,000 on tires right now. The stock Dunlops still have a lot of life left in them. There's only 2,000 miles on those things, but overall, I mean, I don't think it looks bad by any means, but I think that the tires are too small. I think it needs color matched flares, and I think it needs to be lowered a little bit. If we go the option of just dropping this thing off at a paint shop and having them paint match the flares, I think I might just have them paint match or some of the bumper, just paint some of this back here to make it flow a little bit more, just so that way we get rid of a little bit of the cladding back there. But overall, I mean, I don't think the wheels look bad by any means. I just think that now the cladding sticks out a lot more than it did before, and it's kind of an eyesore now. But all of that will come in due time. No car is built overnight. So, good progress on the WRX. I'm working with Cobb, so we're gonna be getting pretty much the Cobb suite put on the car. We have made a decision to keep, for right now, we are going to build the WRX and we are going to keep it as a 50 state EPA compliant build. And then later down the road, because here's the thing, the WRXs are starting to blow up transmissions and stretch head bolts above like 420, 450 wheel torque. It's not horsepower that kills these cars, it's torque, especially when it comes to transmissions and whatnot. Because I've never like completely done a 50 state legal build. Even the WRX, when it was, what was it, green speed compliant, was it technically a 50 state legal build? So if any of you guys have 22 WRXs, 23 WRXs, and you're looking to build it and see what the horsepower and wheel torque capabilities are while still being able to pass emissions, that's what we're gonna be doing right now with the WRX. Especially on a street car, I don't need the car to make a ton of horsepower right now. I have the RX-7 that'll be around 700. I've got the STI, once it gets figured out, will be some magical number. I don't know. I'm not starting on the STI again until after we move into the new shop because I don't want to tear it down in the current shop and then have to move everything over to the new shop. So pretty good progress on the WRX. After we get the Cobb suite on the car next week, we're gonna go, I wanna take the WRX up into the mountains, go play with the car a little bit and kind of enjoy it a little bit more. I've been playing with it on some of the back roads around here, but I wanna go dig up into the mountains a little bit. I'll see if I can get Matt to come with me and his legacy and whatnot. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. In the next video, in the next little segment, like I said, I'm not trying to do anything with the STI right now until we move into the new shop. So we're gonna start wrapping the RX-7 next to get this car a little bit closer. I still need to order some stuff for that, but ordering that stuff is a little bit down on the priority list at the moment. It's not much that we need, just a couple more small things. So I've never wrapped with the Nosatech before, so I think it'll be kind of interesting using the Nosatech on the RX-7. It'll be a learning experience. It looks like a pretty easy car to wrap, so we'll figure that out. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn to black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns to you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet. But with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo!